going to have to lean on those two running backs if they want to have any success today.
Well, you're talking about thunder and lightning and Bouagnon and Huff. Bouagnon averaging 4.4 yards every time he carries the football. He's a power back. He has 25 career touchdowns, but he's still looking for his first touchdown in 2016. And then Huff, explosive, a home run hitter, a guy that they're going to give the football to in between the tackles, outside on the perimeter. And oh, by the way, Mike, they're going to get it to him on the edges as a receiver also.
And there's two sides to every coin, of course. The other side of that coin is the fact that Ball State's only giving up 97 yards rushing. Right now, that's number one in the MAC. Right now, let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Peter Hood. And moments ago, Peter spoke with Rod Carey, the head coach of the Huskies.
Thanks, guys. Coach, you've won 7 straight in this series against Ball State. What do you guys need to do today to make it 8?
Well, it's going to be 4 quarters of football, always is, versus Ball State. They're a good football team. We got a ton of respect for them.
Anthony Maddie makes his first start today. What are you looking to see from him early on in the game?
Well, more of the same that he did at the end of last game. Move the offense.
Appreciate the time, Coach. Best of luck today.
Hey, thanks very much.
All right, thanks, Peter. And Mike New, in his first year as the head coach of the Cardinals, the former quarterback for Ball State, once threw for 469 yards during his quarterbacking days. Spent the last couple of years coaching Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints. As a matter of fact, Brad, the first play from scrimmage this year in 2016, the play was called Breeze. They completed a long pass, but it was called back with a holding penalty. Well, Northern Illinois will receive the kick, so they'll have the ball first as they try to get something going. As a matter of fact, last week in a loss to Western Illinois, Rod Carey's bunch, 552 yards of offense, 301 yards on the ground, but they still came up with the L.
Yeah, you know, but it's conference play. This is a rivalry game. We talked about it, Glee, and all that is out the window. The only thing, and when we had a chance to talk to Coach this week, the only thing that mattered was playing good football today, and that's what you expect to see from both of these teams, especially Northern Illinois, as they look for their first victory of 2016.
And this football game is underway. Jordan Huff watches it hit the end zone, so they'll take it at the 25-yard line. So that'll be our first opportunity to check out Anthony Maddie, the fifth-year senior, who's actually, as Peter pointed out, to Coach Carey, getting his first collegiate start here today.
Yeah, but last week he had career high 142 yards, you know, completing 69% of his passes. He came in and ignited this offense in the fourth quarter, so they're hopeful that carries over into this football game today.
Ryan Graham was the starter, the sophomore from Wheaton, Illinois, and Coach Carey said he actually graded out okay, but he wasn't moving the chains. He said the offense has to respond to the quarterback, and they responded to Maddie. Maddie goes upstairs on the very first play, and he almost had his man at the 40-yard line. The intended receiver, Kenny Galladay.
Well, if you're going to take a shot first play, what better guy to go to than number 19? We're going to call his name a lot. 6'4", 213-pound redshirt senior. Right off the gate, come out, challenge him.
2nd and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. Maddie feeling some pressure, flush from the pocket, picks up the first down. He's up to the 40-yard line. So Maddie obviously hitting, you mentioned, 11 of 16 as he rallied the troops last week. That's 69%, but he can move with his legs as well.
Well, he's averaging over 4 yards a carry, and you love how they're going hurry up. Again, try to keep Ball State's defense on their heels.
Ball up to the 43-yard line. Maddie wants to go upstairs again, right down the middle. And Galladay, the top receiver, comes in with 24 catches. Well, I'm not sure how he dropped that one.
Well, I'm not sure how he got that wide open. The Cardinals defense, if you're going to find out anybody, you better know where number 19 is. He leads the team in touchdowns. And as as we take a peek right here, right down the seam, excellent design play. They put him in the slot instead of having him outside on the edges, and obviously blown coverage right there. Ball State is lucky that ball wasn't completed for a touchdown.
2nd and 10. Maddie now 0 for 2. They keep it on the ground. Up over the 45 and close to the midfield stripe. They have to get down to the 47-yard line for a first down, so that'll bring up a third down. Look at number 28 there. That's Joel Bouagnon. Over 1,200 yards last year with 18 touchdowns, as you mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Still looking for that first rushing touchdown. There's another first down. As Christian Blake, the wide receiver, gets the call on the jet sweep. And the Huskies now with a couple of first downs on their first drive.
Yeah, and new wrinkle. That was Christian Blake's first carry of the season. Hadn't seen that. That hadn't been on film for Ball State's defensive coaches. Come out, and he picks up a first down.
Maddie out of the shotgun. This one's complete. Galloway finally pulls it down. Moves the change. Third down as Galloway now with 19 straight games with at least one catch.
Well, and he's phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing else you could talk about his size, 6'4", 213, a guy that definitely should get an opportunity. And they're got a big matchup with him going against number 11, Josh Miller, 5'11 sophomore.
And this one's complete to the tight end, Shane Wyman, the 6'4", 252-pounder out of Wisconsin Dells. Boy, Wyman comes in with 8 catches. He already has 4 touchdowns, Brad.
Well, and one of the team leaders in touchdowns, and, you know, as you talked about, 85 yards. He's been a big part of this offense as a redshirt junior. He has 2 letters, 6'4", 252. When you got a guy like that that can block in the running game, but also be a guy that can be in front of those linebackers, those safeties for big catches, as you saw right there, that's an advantage for the offense.
Out of the pistol this time, Bouagnon gets the call, hits the right side, and he's stripped up. Nice tackle. Coming up to make that tackle, number 36 for Ball State. That's Jacob White. It's funny, Brad, we went over the boards with the coaching staff, and White's not listed on my 2 deeps, so getting some early action. Maddie drops back, looking, and it's batted away. A good play by Mark Walton, the sophomore out of Mentor, Ohio.
Great breakup, 5'10", 185 pounds. You're going to see Northern Illinois challenge the smaller DBs that Ball State has, but he was up for the challenge right there. Excellent job of flipping his hips. He understands that all he has to do is squeeze the wide receiver to the sideline in a deep third concept. And as you saw, Mark Walton, 5'10", 185-pound sophomore, as you said, from Mentor High School in Mentor, Ohio, does an excellent job. A couple PBUs that he's already had on the season. They love this young man at the corner.
Christian Hagen's only 2 for 4, hasn't been tested with a long of 27. This is from 43. And he missed it. So the Huskies impressive on the drive. It started at their own 25-yard line. Christian Hagen misses from 43. When we come back, Ball State will be possession of the football for the first time as they try to get that Bronze Stock Trophy back here in Muncie.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 800-858-4026. That's 800-858-4026.
The 20th Annual Marathon MAC Football Championship game returns to Ford Field in Detroit Friday, December 2nd. Don't miss your chance to catch one of only 7 major college conference championship games live. Visit the Ford Field Ticket Office Gate G Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 877-212-8898 to charge by phone or visit FordField.com. The MAC Football Championship is presented by Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Sometimes the sky goes dark. The birds stop singing. Before you know it, your heart skipped a beat. That ball hit deep, way back. That's when you gotta face the challenge. Well, step up, get the job done.
Pass back. And he makes the catch. He makes the catch. He jumped and made the catch.
Oh, what a game.
Mercy.
Back inside Schumann Stadium in Muncie, Indiana. No score between the Huskies and the Cardinals. And Ball State, Brad, with their first possession, our first chance to see the 6'6", 220-pound sophomore Riley Neal.
Excited to see him. Last year, you talked about 31 of 53, 393 yards, and 4 touchdowns in this game. This year, he's coming back. 60% completion rate. Again, 14 consecutive starts. Excited to see what this young man does.
And he wants to go upstairs right away, and he does, and it's complete to Kevon Maybon. And Maybon picks up the first down. That's his 24th catch this year.
And smart move by the young quarterback to go to his senior and a captain, Kevon Maybon, on the Bouagnon watch list for a reason. We're going to call his name a lot today, just like we will with Galladay on the other side. Two very good wide receivers, some of the best in the country, and obviously here in the MAC also.
He had 70 catches last year. This time they keep it on the ground. It's going to be Darian Green. Talk about Northern Illinois with a two-headed monster. We'll see a lot of Darian Green and James Gilbert for Ball State. Plus, they actually go 4 deep in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Malik Dunner, Teddy Williamson, Green, and Gilbert, who you just alluded to. So they're 4 deep, which is good for this young quarterback because now you're not putting so much pressure on him to run this offense and manage it. Though if he throws for almost 400 yards this year, they will be extremely excited about it.
There's a fumble, but it goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That's the true freshman, Malik Dunner, out of Carpentersville, Illinois. His playing time is going up as we go deeper into the season.
Well, as you take a look right here, is the reason why. It's just a simple toss. He's able to go out, use his speed and explosive to beat the defensive end to the sideline. Again, go to the sideline. He's got to hold on to it. We've seen it a little bit early here, Mike, with the wet field, the wet conditions. That could have an impact. We saw a fumble right there, though it went out of bounds, and a big missed opportunity on a wet football on the throw by Northern Illinois to Galladay, which could have led to a big play. So we're going to keep an eye on the wet football for both of these teams today.
Well, we talked about that deep running stable. Gilbert gets his first call. Knocked out of bounds by Daniel Isom, a true freshman out of St. Louis, Missouri. A lot of true freshmen playing in this football game. Neal looking downfield, has this man. It's complete. And it's another freshman, Damon Hazelton.
Oh, love this young man. He's from Baltimore High School that my son had went to, and they're going to hurry up right now. They absolutely love this true freshman. 6'2", 210-pound freshman out of Baltimore, Maryland, Franklin High School. Great body control and all better job of getting that foot down to complete the catch.
Gilbert is wrapped up in the backfield by Sean Folliard, a senior out of Crystal, Illinois. Boy, Hazelton, Coach News said that he was really, really impressing the coaching staff in practice, but then against Eastern Kentucky, got some playing time, wound up with 6 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. And, of course, the big gainer down inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and it's huge when you can get freshmen to come in. He's a true freshman, folks. So he's came in here in June and July, worked his way through training camp to obviously be a big part of this offense early in the season for the Cardinals.
Neal fires over the middle, and this one's batted away. It's a good defensive play by Jamal Payton, the senior out of Bellwood, Illinois.
Yeah, he plays linebacker for a reason as a former linebacker. You're going to take a peek. Look at the linebacker 33 as he slides across. He recognizes the window. That's a mistake by the young quarterback. He doesn't look him off and give himself that split-sec opportunity. Jamal Payton has to be able to bring that football in because that would be a huge play, especially in the red zone for this Northern Illinois defense.
That Hazelton completion went 28 yards, but now will they stall? It's 3rd and goal inside the 10-yard line. Neal out of the shotgun this time. Fires over the middle, and this one's incomplete. Intended receiver Corey Lacanaria. So Lacanaria comes in with 12 catches. He's been battling a high ankle sprain, but they're going to stall, and they're going to have to try to kick a field goal. So Morgan Hagee, the sophomore from Plainville, Indiana.
Yeah, and it looks like Jamal Payton, number 33, who we just saw drop an opportunity for a big play, may have got his hand on this one as well. As he dropped that, he showed that he was blitzing. Young quarterback thinks he's going to blitz him, doesn't count him, and then all of a sudden he drops off in defense and be able to be in that nice red zone window to constrict the passing lanes against the offense. Big incompletion. Almost had another chance for an opportunity if he got both hands on it, but at least a field goal for the Cardinals.
Hagee's good from 26, so now he's 7 of 9 in his 2016 season. So both teams moving up and down the field. Northern Illinois misses from 3. Ball State knocks 3 through.
Tired of being skinny or scrawny? There are thousands of products designed to help you lose weight, but what if you need to gain weight? Then the CB1 Weight Gainer program is your answer. CB1 Weight Gainer's natural formula of herbs, vitamins, and minerals is for people who suffer a weak appetite or fast metabolism.
I took them for 2 months. I was hungry all the time. I went from 160 to 187.
CB1 really works. In 2 months, I gained 26 pounds.
And every time I stepped on the scale, I saw the weight go up a little bit. With CB1, I gained 30 pounds in 6 months.
CB1 Weight Gainer is a safe and natural weight gain program made in the USA. And we're so confident you'll love CB1. We back it with a 30-day total satisfaction guarantee. Order now and we'll include our 24-page weight gain guidebook, a $19.99 value, absolutely free. But that's not all. We'll also upgrade your order with rush processing, a $6.99 value, absolutely free. That's right. Save over $25 when you place your order of CB1 now.
We know you live and die with your White Sox. So fuel your fandom today at CSNChicago.com's White Sox page. Catch up on the top stories, the latest team news, and watch tons and tons of video right here. Check out exclusives from insider Dan Hayes to social media, stats, and the shop. This is CSNChicago.com's White Sox page, brought to you by Wintrust. More video, more stories, more sports.
Well, back in Muncie, 3-0, the Cardinals take the early lead over the Huskies of Northern Illinois as we head down to the field now to check in with Peter Hood and talks about the field conditions down there, Peter.
Yeah, Mike, Brad, I think the rain was a concern for everybody coming into today, but so far so good. The drizzle has been on and off down here, but right now we're dry. This turf is just 2 years old, so even if it does rain a lot today, it's meant to handle it down here at Schumann Stadium.
Well, Peter, if it was anything like yesterday, boy, it was miserable here yesterday, Brad. It was really coming down. So hopefully Mother Nature enjoys the game, sits back, and holds off with some of the wet stuff here for the rest of the afternoon.
Well, it is the bronze stalk game for a reason. So we got a lot of cornfields out there that need that good water and to help, grow that corn, because it is fall time as we get ready. The leaves are changing. Beautiful view here from Schumann Stadium. The trees are changing color. So nothing wrong with a little moisture from God's loving hand to help provide us with some good food.
Kyle Schmidt with another kick, and this one's going to be taken 5 yards deep in the end zone. Gets over the 15-yard line. That's going to be Jordan Huff from Mobile, Alabama. Gets out to about the 17 as we go back and take a look at some of the key plays.
Well, again, you're talking about a big, nice job of getting the quarterback out of the pocket. You see them on the run because they want to get him away from the blitz and the pressure. That's an excellent job that Ball State is doing for their young quarterback. And then he does a better job of making the throws. His receivers are there to make the catches. They move the football down the field. First drive, 3 points. That has to feel good if you're Ball State, considering the last 7 games in this rivalry game, they've came up empty.
Well, Mike New obviously is playing around with that kicking game. We were told Steve Dryda or Ryan Rimmer would be kicking off. Well, that's the second time that we've seen Kyle Schmidt, the punter, kick off. So obviously Mike New not happy with his kicking game. Going to the punter now as we go to a second down, gain of 4, so 2nd and 6.
Rivalry game. Wrinkles all over the place. People are coming up out of stands wearing jerseys, making tackles, and then punters are doing kickoffs.
Beautiful one-handed grab that time by Kenny Galladay. And Galladay beats Mark Walton, the sophomore of Mentor.
Look at this catch. Play action, drops back, throw it up there to your big-time receiver. He's got somebody hanging on him. Grown man football reaches out with the left hand and hauls it in for a ridiculous one-handed catch on the sideline. That's a huge catch. That's why I say, ladies and gentlemen, this young man will get an opportunity to play on Sundays because he is big, he's strong, he's fast, and he has great hands.
This one swung down into the flats, number 22. That's Argyros Turner. Argyros Turner was questionable for the game because he's been battling an injury. They're talking with Coach Carey on the phone, Brad, earlier talking about the injury report. And he said, I don't want to make it an excuse, but we're a little bit dinged up as Maddie comes out, fires it to Turner again. Turner, little stutter step, and he's inside the 25-yard line.
Great design plays. This beautiful option that the quarterback had. He could have run it. He could throw it as a bubble screen, wide receiver screen. And you're going to see Argyros does an excellent job. Look at the quarterback. Stays behind the line of scrimmage just enough. Throws a nice rope to allow Turner to catch it and make a move in order to get a first down.
Whistles will stop this play. I'll finish that thought. Coach Carey started talking about the injury report.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So number 72, that goes against Jordan Steckler, the freshman from True Rivers, Wisconsin. But he started listing the injury report. I started writing down the names, and I just stopped writing. I said, wow, 4 games into the season, and you are really dinged up. Now, Bouagnon out of the pistol again. So Anthony Maddie, who rallied the troops against Western Illinois last week, even though they lost the football game, and coach said that offense has to respond to the quarterback. Well, you know what? They're responding to this young man right now. This one's complete. Again, it's Galloway. So Galladay missed a couple early, but looks like he's going to have a big afternoon.
I mean, look at the young man's arms. You can tell not only does he spend time getting better at his craft on the football field, but look at those arms. He's spending time in the weight room. 6'4", 213-pound redshirt senior from Chicago, North Dakota transfer. He's been a huge, huge asset for this offense.
Maddie out of the gun, goes upstairs looking for Galladay. And it looks like Mark Walton's going to have a very busy afternoon trying to cover number 19.
Well, they're going to switch sides between him and Josh Miller, 2 sophomores, number 11 on the other side. They're going to make sure that they give Galladay the most opportunities to make plays. And guess what? Northern Illinois, give them credit. They're not doing underneath and dink and dunking. They are attacking the secondary deep of the Cardinals defense.
3rd down and 10. So far this year, Northern Illinois just 28% converting 3rd downs. And this one's going to be incomplete. Again, the intended receiver was Galladay, and again, in coverage, Mark Walton.
Another PBU. That's the second one that he's had big on 3rd down right there. As you take a look right here, corner does an excellent job of staying in his pedal. He reads the route, good film study, doesn't reach across. Right hand goes to secure the tackle in case Galladay does make a phenomenal catch, as we've already seen in this game. Left hand shoots in there for the incompletion.
Galladay with 2 catches. His next catch will be 100 for his career. This will be a 41-yard kick by Hagan. He missed already from 43, nails this one. So he came in with a long of 27. That's his long this year. And another impressive drive. They don't get the touchdown, but they get some points on the board. And the Huskies trying to break into the win column. 0-4 for the first time since 1999. They're all tied up now here in Muncie at 3 apiece.
If you want to shed the fat and sculpt your core to get those sexy toned abs of your dreams, then stop doing sit-ups. Say woo! And start dancing with Hip Hop Abs, the fun new ab sculpting system from Insanity creator Sean T.
I don't want you to ever get down on the floor to do crunches again. I'm gonna break it down so you burn the fat and sculpt those abs fast.
Just do Sean's easy-to-follow moves to work your upper abs, middle abs, lower abs, and obliques, all while you're dancing.
I went from a size 18 to a size 2. I have abs now. I've got a 6-pack.
And now the complete $80 Hip Hop Abs system is 75% off. That's right, Hip Hop Abs is only $19.95. We'll even upgrade you to express shipping free. Get the complete Hip Hop Abs system for only $19.95.
Call 1-800-635-5153 or order online at gethiphopabs.com. That's 1-800-635-5153. Call now.
If your loved one received an IVC filter to prevent blood clots and later experienced complications, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters can move or fracture, causing serious injuries such as heart damage, lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. Don't wait. Call right now.
Call 800-827-0024. That's 800-827-0024.
It's why we stand in a frozen Muni lot 6 hours before kickoff. It's why we go to every game, generation after generation. It's why we cherish memories of a team steeped in history and look ahead with an endless supply of optimism. It's why our University Hospital sports medicine experts keep athletes from Pee Wee to pro performing at their highest level. We do it for our team, for our city, for Browns football.
Back in Muncie, all tied up at 3-3. And Brad, you look at Anthony Maddie, 5th-year senior making his first collegiate start. He's looked impressive so far. even though they only have 3 points on the board.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Coach talked about this week. They were confident in him because he understands the system. He knows the offense, and he's showing it thus far as he continued from playing well in the fourth quarter last week when he was inserted in that football game. Tough loss that they had, but put up 16 points in the fourth quarter, second most that they've had in a couple years in one quarter. And now he started off. They're moving the football well. Missed a field goal, made a field goal, but they're right there trying to get the first victory of 2016.
He was actually in the mix back in 14, as you mentioned, for the starting job before he lost out, of course, to Drew Hare, who was injured in the second game of the season. Hagan with the kick. And this one's going to take at the 6-yard line by Maybon. Maybon bounces to the outside, and he's tripped up at the 25, goes out at about the 27-yard line. Last year's Bronze Stock Trophy game played at Husky Stadium in DeKalb, Illinois. And speaking of Drew Hare, the quarterback completed 29 of 32, 363 yards and a couple of touchdowns as the Huskies rolled 59-41 over these Cardinals of Ball State. And it was the Huskies' 7th consecutive win in the series. You see number 12 there. Drew Hare, he was dinged up this year in the second game against South Florida down in Tampa. And that's when Ryan Graham took over. Now Anthony Maddie is leading the controls as we go back to Ball State and check out Riley Neal trying to get the Cardinals moving again in a 3-3 tie. Gilbert gets the call. Nice hole left side. He's over the 30, 35, and he cuts it back over the 45. Might have stepped out of bounds, depending on the spot. Looks like they're going to spot it close to the midfield stripe. So Gilbert came in just 62 yards of 1,000 in his career.
Yeah, and he's going to get closer. Beautiful stretch play. Big offensive lineman coming around. Linebacker goes underneath as you see the big offensive lineman coming around, looking to seal off. Big hole that Ball State's offensive line and tight ends were able to create right there as there's a young man down from Northern Illinois. Hopefully it's not too serious, but that's a huge hole. And when Gilbert gets holes like that, 5'8", 194, he's not the biggest of back, but he's very powerful.
So you see the injured man leaving the field, number 39. That's the freshman Daniel Isom as we take another look at Gilbert.
Yeah. And as you see, Mike, look at it. He's patient as he's trying to find the hole. He doesn't rush up in there. A lot of times, young running backs, and he's a sophomore, they'll just go to the first hole. He does an excellent job of keeping his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, which allows him to change direction and pick the hole. And he picked the right one because that thing was like driving down the highway.
So Gilbert to open up the season with 160 yards in the opener against Georgia State with a couple of touchdowns. Picks up 23 that time. Darian Green, the 5'8", 185-pounder out of Lafayette, Indiana, in the backfield. But Neal wants to put it up, but he's going down. And that's only the 6th time this year that he's been sacked. And good pressure there by Schmaha, who was also questionable because of injuries.
Well, I was just about to say, whenever you get that stretch play, one back, the play that always comes off of it is the bootleg, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is, but you can't fool number 50 Schmaha as he's there, does his job, keeping contained, staying upfield, and not allowing the quarterback. He doesn't go chase the run fake that goes to the other side of the field because that is not his job. Excellent discipline by that young man right there, and a big sack for him.
It's only their 3rd sack this year. Kevin Kane, the defensive coordinator, said we've been close the last couple of games, but the quarterback just gets rid of the ball. This is Green. Good open field tackle that time by number 19, Shawan Lurie, who actually led the country in INTs last year.
Yeah, he's another guy that's going to play on Sundays. You know, they got some ball players over there at Northern Illinois. Jim Thorpe, watch list. Bronco Nagurski Award, watch list. Walter Camp, Player of the Year, watch list. Lurie is a guy that is a ball hawk. He may only be 5'8", 180, but that young man from West Palm Beach, Florida, can play some football, especially out on the edges at corner.
3rd and 23. Try to set up the screen to no avail as it's sniffed out by William Lee, the 6'3", 304-pounder from Indianapolis.
Excellent job, big fella. You know, if the offensive lineman in front of you leave, it's only one thing, screen or draw. Excellent job of that young man. Whenever it's 3rd and long, and it always bothers me, Mike, when defenses, they go upfield. You haven't been able to sniff the quarterback in all your pass rush moves. You're not that good to get free. William Lee does an excellent job of staying home and doing his job as the defensive tackle to check screen and draw before he gets to the quarterback.
Kyle Schmidt comes in averaging almost 43 yards a punt. And this one's taken by Ezra Saffold. And he's going to be ruled down at about the 31-yard line. And that's where the Huskies, tied up at 3-3, will take over with 6:10 to go in the first quarter.
Very impressed with the defense that the Huskies have right now.
Now remember to join us next Saturday for an ASN triple header. All starts out with the Southern Miss heading down to Texas, take on UTSA in San Antonio. Then Ball State. These Cardinals head from Mount Pleasant to take on the Chippewas in Central Michigan. And that'll be followed by Marshall in North Texas. The action begins noon Eastern. Check your local listings. Oh, Brad Jackson, Mike Gleason here, along with Peter Hood down on the sidelines. And piling up the yards, but just 6 points on the board. 3 apiece here for Northern Illinois and Ball State. Mentioned last year, 59-41. As Maddie takes off, and he's got some green in front of him. Maddie over the 45, hits the midfield stripe, finally chased out of bounds by Renard Sharon as we check in with Peter.
Maddie has a very unique story. He was recruited by Northern Illinois out of high school, but they didn't offer him a scholarship, so he went to Western Michigan. Then when the coaching change took place there, Matt decided to leave, and NIU re-recruited him. Competition with Drew and others, but lost out, and then last year he injured his back and was out for the season. Came to him before the year started. Hey, you're a fifth-year senior. Let's get you on the field. We'll move you out.
All right, Peter. I think we're having some difficulties with your microphone right now, the audio, but we'll check back in with you momentarily.
Well, that's the drizzle. He talked about the wet conditions on the field. You got to keep that microphone dry. Stay dry down here, Peter. Good stuff, though, that he was talking about with Maddie, a kid that was recruited, then leaves, then comes back, and then they're trying to get him on the field, and he's like, yes, coach, I'll play wide receiver, I'll play tight end, I'll go in the backfield, I'll carry it, I'll throw it, I'll catch it, and now here he finds himself the starting quarterback.
Now he faces a 3rd and 11. With Joel Bouagnon in the backfield, the twin receivers to the top of your screen. It's going to be a sweep. And it's going nowhere. Coming up to make the tackles, Aaron Taylor, Zach Ryan, the middle linebacker there to help out. And that's going to bring up a punting situation for Northern Illinois, unless they decide to go for it. No, they're going to punt it away.
Well, you're in a good defensive battle. One of the things that hasn't happened for Northern Illinois is having success on defense. Right now, your defense is doing a heck of a job. There's no reason to put them in harm's way by giving great field position to Ball State at midfield. Go ahead, punt it, and keep trusting that defense. Build the confidence in that defense, which has been much maligned this season early on, that you believe and expect them to make plays, because right now in this football game, Mike, they are making football plays.
They're going to go for it. And they need to get all the way down to the 42-yard line. And the Ball State defense rises to the occasion. So Rod Carey, the head coach for Northern Illinois, 0-4, trying to get something going, trying to spark his team. They fake the punt, but it goes nowhere.
Yeah, it was a fake, but Ball State does its job of staying home, as you see right there. Tough play, that they have 3rd and a mile. And, I think if it would have been shorter, that may have been an opportunity. Don't question Coach Carey's call right there. He's trying to do whatever he can at 0-4 early in this football game. I would prefer just to punt it down there, but there's something that they saw on film, and they took a chance and an opportunity, but Ball State did a better job of defending the fake.
Short of the line to gain. There is a sideline interference warning on Ball State. This is their first of the half, and there is no penalty yardage associated with the foul.
That's Tim O'Day, our referee here in Muncie today, and so Ball State gets a warning over on that Cardinal sidelines, but they also have very good field position now, starting at the midfield stripe, the best field position so far for Mike New. Inside 4.5, opening quarter here from Muncie, tied up at 3-3. Green is going to be wrapped up. And so this Northern Illinois defense has really stepped up right now. Jamal Payton making initial contact from his linebacker spot.
Yeah, again, we've seen him in the pass coverage. Now you see him go downhill to get into the backfield. Huge stop for the young man, 6 feet, 228-pound senior from Bellwood, Illinois.
Brad, we talked about the fact that 100 points was scored last year in this game, 59-41. Last 5 games, on average, the two teams have combined for 74. And they're certainly moving up and down the field. So sooner or later, I think some points will be starting to go up on the scoreboard. Green had it and dropped it. Probably heard some footsteps as he tried to turn upfield.
Well, yeah, good coach is number 39, Daniel Isom, a true freshman from St. Louis, Missouri. Does an excellent job of staying, in his zone spot. They're playing a simple cover 2. He's right there. Luckily, that is not caught, and they're even luckier that wasn't intercepted as it goes off. Again, we talked about the wet conditions. Peter talked about it down there on the field, and the football being wet. He doesn't have an opportunity to bring that pass in with a slippery football.
3rd and 11, wide open. There's going to be Kevon Maybon, and Maybon moves down inside the 25-yard line. So another big completion by Riley Neal.
If somebody's going to get open, it may not be one of the best wide receivers in the country, in the conference as well. That guy can't get open on 3rd and long. Zone coverage, a little bit of miscommunication on the top side of the defense right there. And Maybon does an excellent job of sitting down his route right at the sticks and makes a great catch for a first down.
Maybon making his 22nd consecutive start, picks up 27 on the play. Ball at the 24. James Gilbert tries to cut it back. He stopped at about the 21-yard line. So Gilbert averaging about 83 yards per game. And he'll give way to Green. And they're going to split Green out wide to the left side now on a 2nd and 7. See some of the offensive signs there for Ball State. Boy,
we got a little PGF going there. We got to take a look at that again. We're trying to decipher that one for you guys.
5 wideouts now for Riley, working out of the empty backfield. Neal fires, has his man, dropped inside the 10-yard line. Lacanaria has his first catch and his 9th this year.
And you're going to get an opportunity to see 2x2, 2 wide receivers. Just a simple option route. Lacanaria does an excellent job of sitting down in the window versus continuing to drag. We saw that earlier where the wide receiver continued in the next passing window and it was broken up. Excellent job by that veteran wide receiver, Junior, to sit down in the window.
Lacanaria throws it up for grabs, and it's going to be picked off. Brandon Mays, the safety, just went up there and got a duck.
Yeah, that was a duck. If he gets anything on that football, and I know some of the people are saying, we've seen you talk about some of these great catches, but they look routine. That is what happens when you have slippery and a wet football. Again, good play. It's open. That one, he just has to tuck, throws it up there, doesn't get anything on it because the defensive pressure that the defender does by staying home. And you talk about it, Brandon Mays gets his first interception of the season and his career.
And he had a wide open receiver. So I guess if he could do it all over again, the worst thing he could do is throw it out of the back of the end zone, at least to overshoot his receiver. But Mays has the pick. And now the Huskies will be working from their own end zone. Right up the middle to get it up to about the 7-yard line as we check back in with Peter.
Yeah, NIU defensive coordinator Kevin Kane, guys, says his team's goal is to force 3 turnovers a game. Early on this year defensively, they haven't had a lot of success forcing turnovers. He says that's essential to them being successful as a football team, and they get a big one there by the goal line.
Maddie working out of the gun from his own end zone. Here's Galladay. Galladay slips a tackle. He's up over the 20 to about the 24-yard line. So Galladay, as we mentioned, he came in tied for second in the MAC with 6 catches a game. He already has, he's well on his way to matching those numbers today.
He's a playmaker, and to reiterate what Peter was just talking about, when we talked to Coach Kane, one of the things that he talked about for the keys to the victory, it was winning one-on-one battles, and his second one was takeaways.
Turner gets up to the 25-yard line.
Take a peek right here. Again, wide receivers, they all want to catch the football, but you love when they're able to be physical and block. And guess who that is? Kitty Galladay, a guy that obviously you talked about his numbers receiving the football. And it's one of the things that coaches said that they love about him. And what's most impressive is his ability to block.
Look at Maddie go. He slipped about 3 tackles. He's going to take it to the house. Anthony Maddie, who last week came off the bench and hit 11 of 16 passing. This time, he takes it to the house with his legs, and boy, he should have been stopped 2 or 3 times by a very good Ball State defense.
Oh, my my goodness. What a big play for that young man as he obviously, takes it all the way down. Big, 6'1", 203 pounds. Takes a look. Quarterback draw right down the middle. Excellent job. Look at, we just talked about wide receivers blocking. And then the slippery gloves, the slippery uniform. He just runs out of tackle and then has enough juice, as we call it when you're playing PlayStation. He hit the X button for that extra juice to take him all the way to pay dirt in an end zone to give NIU their first lead in this game.
Well, the extra juice takes him 75 yards for the rushing touchdown for Anthony Maddie, the fifth-year senior out of Plainfield, Illinois. The key is to move the chains. Well, he certainly did it that time, going 75.
Quarterback draw, blocking. Everybody, a seal there. Old Vince Lombardi quote, and a seal there. And then you run it in the alley. But look at the quarterback. He keeps his legs moving, dips his shoulder just enough, and then right there takes it all the way to the house and able to keep the lead that he had. Again, you can't talk about, look at number 22, your wide receiver, Garros Turner, a senior, go in there, get a big block, and then he just does the rest, runs out of the tackle of number 23, Mark Walton, a sophomore. You got to bring your hips, even though as a quarterback, you got to bring your hips, slippery conditions, grab cloth, and find any way to get him on the ground when you're the last line of defense.
And he just outran Josh Miller to the end zone, Miller, the sophomore out of Indianapolis. And so, as you mentioned now, Huskies up by a touchdown, 10-3. With 68 seconds to go before we head for the second quarter. Mabon from the 4. Boy, Mabon, nice job being patient, waiting for that wedge, or waiting for a lane to open up, and he certainly takes advantage of it. It's a nice return by Kayvon Mabon.
Another one of those big wide. Look at his arms. We talk about both of these wideouts as you take a look at the return. He's patient enough, catches it. Look at him. Just sets his blockers up and then explodes through it, runs through an arm tackle. When you got arms like that, 6'2", 215 pounds, a captain for a reason is able to run through arm tackles and explode for a big return to give the offense some breathing room versus being backed up to start their stride.
Kayvon Mabon, one of 4 MAC players to return a kick for touchdowns in 2015. Goes 39 on that return, brings it up to the 43-yard line. And so again, the Cardinals with good field position, and again Neal working with 5 wideouts, 3 split to the near side. In and out of the hands of Kyle Schrank, the freshman out of Fishers, Indiana. That would have been his first catch, and he probably should have had it.
Yeah, that's one you got to look in, and I don't want to keep harping about it, Glee, but we saw some of these wide receivers that make the catch, and we're like, oh, it's a good catch. That's a routine catch. There are no routine catches on a day like today when every time that football is hitting the ground, every time it's getting placed by the officials, it's getting a little bit of moisture on it, which makes it that much more difficult to catch.
2nd and 10. Gilbert gets the pitch. Gilbert cuts it back, and he picks up the first down inside the 45-yard line. Boy, Gilbert, 194 pounds. He runs like he's about 225.
Well, that's because the low center of gravity keeps his legs going, his knees moving, a la what used to happen back in the day with another running back, one of the greatest guys, rest his soul, Walter Payton. You kind of see that when the running back can keep those legs churning, that is going to give them an opportunity to break tackles no matter how big or small they are.
This one's complete, and another broken tackle. Nice job by Devin Reese, the sophomore out of Westfield, Indiana. As Daniel Isom, the cornerback, the freshman cornerback, had him wrapped up, but apparently not tight enough.
Well, and that's why we say when you wrap, you also grab cloth. Excellent job. We talked about the freshman. You see him comes up, puts a hat on him, no cloth. He's got arms, which are going to be slippery because of the sweat, the perspiration, and obviously the wet conditions. Doesn't grab cloth and able to get him to the ground. Broken tackle leads to a touchdown for Ball State.
Gilbert waits for his hole. He cuts it back, and James Gilbert has his 4th rushing touchdown here in 2016. And just like that, it's 10-9. Here we go, Brad. I think we're going to have another wild scoring affair here between the Huskies and the Cardinals.
And you were just talking about they haven't scored any points combined in the last 4 or 5 games. But 100 points last year. Now, anything you can do, we can do better. 2 good drives by the offense. Big plays made by both teams.
Hagee on for the extra points. And he drills it right down the middle of the freeway. As we go back and take a look at James Gilbert getting some nice blocking on the left side, and Mike New's Cardinals are all tied up.
Simple stretch play to the left. We saw them earlier in this quarter have success of going to the left side that led to a big run. They go right back to it. And again, he does an excellent job of keeping the patience, keeping his shoulder square. That allows him to be able to plant with one foot versus having to take 2 or 3 steps to make that cut back into the end zone.
Drake Miller, the left tackle, making his 25th consecutive start. He just took his guy right out of the play. So nice job by the left tackle, and Gilbert has the touchdown. We're all tied up at 10 apiece with 15 seconds to go before the second quarter.
Well, if you're going to run behind your senior and Drake Miller, one of the best. You know, you talked about 25 career starts. Both of these tackles, him and Stephen Bell on the right side, coaches were very confident in their ability at being 2 of the best, as, you know, they talked about of maybe having here at Ball State in a long time.
So Jordan Huff and DJ Brown are the deep men. Back to receive the kick by number 12, Kyle Schmidt, the usual punter. And Schmidt's already having a workout here in the first quarter. Huff at the 2. Huff over the 20, dropped at the 23. And that's where the Huskies will take over with 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. So again, you look at last year, as Brad was saying, the 59-41 score, but combined 1,139 yards of offense. I think we're halfway to that here in the first quarter.
Hey, as a defensive guy that won a championship being one of the greatest defenses ever in the National Football League, college at the University of Cincinnati, coached by Rex Ryan, and, you know, like, it's amazing to me that how these defenses play. But right now, both defenses have made plays, and it's 10-10 here, an exciting game as we see another big run by Northern Illinois right before the end of the quarter.
Bouagnon moves the chains, sweeping the left side. Goes out of bounds. He'll stop the clock with 4 seconds to go. And they're going to start it up, and that's going to be the last play of the first quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter. Timeout on the field.
20 points on the board, but we'll have to add up all the yardage because both teams moving up and down the field as we played 15 minutes here from Muncie. They head for the second quarter. Huskies with the ball, and they've been difficult to stop so far.
Get an insightful look beyond the field at the athletes, games, and conferences you care about at AmericanSportsNet.com. The American Sports Network. Your team, your passion, your network.
Dear Ball State, you have become one of the best decisions I have ever made.
Every day, you push me to work harder than I did the day before.
Saying you're from Ball State is embedded in who you are.
We never give up. You taught me that lesson.
You give us opportunity.
Now,
we etch our names in history.
Now,
we sharpen our minds.
Now.
Now it's our time.
Catch exciting college football action Saturdays on the American Sports Network. Your favorite league play heats up as the Marshall Thundering Herd and the North Texas Mean Green compete for a Conference USA win. Saturday, October 8th at 7 p.m. Live on ASN.
On Friday, October 21st, join Comcast Sportsnet's Chuck Garfien as he hosts the 8th annual MDA Chicago Muscle Team Gala at Navy Pier. This fundraising event supports the Muscular Dystrophy Association in their summer camp program for kids. This special camp offers a week full of fun, laughter, and the opportunity for kids to bond and understand what it means to live with a muscle disease. Join us for a fun evening that includes local athletes, silent and live auctions, and a festive dinner. For tickets, visit chicagomuscleteam.org.
Now batting for the White Sox, center fielder number 34, Michael Bennett.
At point guard for the Chicago Bulls, number 6, Shannon Kelly.
At the Bulls Sox Academy, we give each kid one mission. Dream it, train it, be it.
Welcome back to Schumann Stadium, everybody. Score tied, Ball State 10, Northern Illinois 10 in the Battle of the Bronze Stalk Trophy here this afternoon. Now, if you look at the preseason Mid-American Conference polls, Ball State was picked to finish 5th in the West Division. But don't tell head coach Mike New that, because he's been here before. As a matter of fact, in 1993, when Mike New was the quarterback here at Ball State, his team was also picked to finish 5th. They went on to win the MAC championship that year. New was the Offensive Player of the Year in the conference, and he says he sees a lot of similar qualities in this team that he did in that 1993 MAC championship team, guys.
Maddie comes up throwing, and this one's complete up to the 45-yard line. Galladay, ball is loose. Ball State has it. So the Cardinals come up with the big break. And Peter, little caveat on that story with Mike New, when he was with the New Orleans Voodoo of Arena Football League, they were picked 17th out of 17 teams. They wound up with the best record, so he tells his team, why not us?
And as you see right here, Josh Miller, number 11, does an excellent job. He's beat, but he comes back, and they talked about turnovers. You have to practice it all the time. Galladay, excellent job beating it. Got to tuck it away. Slippery football, thinks he's lost him. Beautiful tomahawk strip right there that forces the turnover by Josh Miller. Excellent presence by number 11, sophomore, for him to be able to make that play. And then the senior, number 8, Corey Hall, as you take a picture right there, does an excellent job of coming in, scooping it up, making sure that they retain possession of the football. Huge turnover and territory for Ball State to try to take the lead back in this football game.
Corey Hall moving from corner to safety this year after missing last year. And they want to go for it right away. They do, inside the 25-yard line. It's complete to the freshman Hazelton. So Damon Hazelton has his second catch, and both catches big yard.
And when you got a 6'6" quarterback, you see, that's what I want to see and the coaches want to see. He does an excellent job of looking off the linebacker to give himself that window. Big kid, 6'6", you talked about it, Mike. Huge arm. He's able to make that throw all day long to the freshman from Baltimore, Maryland, Franklin High School, right around by the way in Ravens Nation, Damon Hazelton Jr.
He had to get the Ravens in there.
Yeah, he's a home team.
Well, the young freshman picked up 28 and now 22 as they're just outside the red zone. Certainly not unfamiliar with the red zone already here this afternoon, trying to break this 10-10 tie. Gilbert in the backfield now with Riley Neal. The big tight end, Bruner, in motion. Play action down the middle. Lacanario inside the 5. Nice pitch and catch.
Yeah, number 2, Brandon Mays, the backside safety, was just a little bit late, but that's what happens when the quarterback, Riley Neal, the sophomore, holds him just enough on the backside hash that he wasn't able to get there to give Lacanario an opportunity to make that catch inside the 5.
Gilbert, touchdown. Ball State, his second rushing touchdown here today. Number 4 on the season.
Again, it's all predicated and set up by the big catch, read option, and then look at your quarterback, goes in there and throws himself a block. They're going to love watching that on film. He gets a little pancake of himself, that being Riley Neal. But James Gilbert, you talked about it before, Glee, his ability to fall forward, keeps those legs churning, and he gets into the end zone after contact.
Well, you turn it over, and usually you pay the price. Ball State, they certainly capitalized.